What's up guys, Matt and Blake from the Football Boots team, and today we have been treated to another last minute pack of the 2016-17 season, this time by Adidas with their Dust On collection, which I think is an absolute worldie. So let's get right into every pair of boots in the newest Adidas collection.
So in this video there's actually two new solos, so two new boot ranges on the list. The A17 is the only one which isn't new, as well as the Copa 17. We also see a brand new Nemesis line and a brand new X17 line, so wait until the end of the video to see those two boots.
So the first pair of boots that we're going to be looking at is a great model by Adidas, and that is the A17.1 Prime Knit. And the overall theme that you're going to see from the Dust On collection is a white colourway with a little bit of black and then a pop of trim application. In this situation, we've got a white base coat, black on the back with a bit of a gradient, and then the three stripes are in solar yellow. I love this. What about you?
So this is probably Adidas' highest performing football boot, and this is probably my favourite colourway of the entire video. We see white at the front, black at the back with that gradient in between, black sprint skin collar, and the sole plate is actually transparent, so you see the black at the back and white at the front. On the Pure Control it's actually on top, but we see the solar yellow on the Adidas three stripes. Maddie, what do you think of it?
I think this is absolutely class, and I hope there's going to be a few Real Madrid players in the Champions League final wearing this, because with those white socks, if they are wearing the home kit, I think would look incredible. And as you said, for me, it's all about that gradient design. We say it quite often, any boot with a colourway with a gradient design gets a massive tick from us. So that's the Prime Knit. Let's move on to the next boot in the collection. So we've just seen the Prime Knit, so let's move on to its big brother, the Pure Control. Now if you want a very fun football boot to play in and you also have the £30 extra to spend, then go ahead and get these, because they look almost exactly the same with that black, white and solar yellow colourway. Again, I think these look incredible. I'll go for the 17.1 Prime Knit. What about you?
I think I'd wear the Pure Control. If it was just a free kick session, I'd wear the latest Pure Control, but in terms of a 90-minute match, primer any day, it's pretty much the same as the primer, but the sole plate actually has that gradient black and white on the top. It's not transparent, so you see that on the top with that nice chrome effect instead of transparent.
So let's move away from the Ace and bring in the brand new generation of the X, which is now the 17 range, and we are looking at the 17.1. And as you can see, the absolute standout feature is that dotted graphic all across the upper. Now the upper itself is completely white, then the dots are in black, and there's also maybe a little bit of solar blue for the X branding and also some other little tech fit and NSG details. Do you like it?
So this is the third generation of X. We saw the X15, X16, X17. Now this, in terms of tech specs, looks very similar to the X16.1. The upper on the X17.1 does actually look better than what's on the X16.1. That same tech fit collar, that same sprint frame sole plate, external lacing with that central lacing design. In terms of fit, it looks pretty much the same as the X16.1. What do you think of it, Maddie?
Do you know what? The main thing that I hope is going to be improved on the 17 is that upper. And do you know what? By the looks of it, it has been improved, which is a massive plus for me. I want it to be a little bit thinner and a little bit more flexible. But that's the X17.1. So let's move on to the Pure Chaos. So once again, it's time for the big brother, and this time it's the 17 Plus Pure Chaos. Now it looks almost identical in terms of colourway, but there are some extras which Blake is going to go into now. But one difference on this upper compared to the 17.1 is that those black dots are actually almost like NSG, a bumpy texture all across the upper. But what else is going on?
So the upper may be a bit more grippy than the X16 Plus Pure Chaos. Definitely a good thing to have. But in terms of silhouette, again, we see the tech fit collar. Hopefully the upper is the same as the X16 Plus Pure Chaos. Really, really thin and high quality. That sole plate looks like it's sprint frame. We see a sort of silver and black sort of gradient effect on that sole plate. It does actually look quite nice. And the Adidas logo is a really nice blue. Would look great on James Rodriguez's feet if he was playing in the Champions League final. He's probably going to be on the bench. But that is the X17 Plus Pure Chaos. What do you think?
Do you know what? I love this 16 Plus Pure Chaos, so I cannot wait to test the 17 Plus Pure Chaos. Hopefully, it's going to be the same level as quality or a little bit higher. We don't want it to go backwards, because sometimes with generations, when they get upgraded, they can go backwards a little bit. So I'm hoping Adidas can keep to that same high quality. So of course, included in the Dust On pack is a new colourway of the Copa 17.1, and I'm not going to lie, it ain't for me, so Blake, take it away.
I mean, now the colourways released for the Copa 17.1 have been quite subtle, been quite classic, and this is a really classic colourway with a bit of modern trim. You see that same logo you saw on the Adidas logo on the X17.1 and Pure Chaos, so quite a nice touch on the sole plate, but most of the boot is white with black Adidas 3 stripes. I think the design is very subtle and classic, great for a Sunday league footballer. So Maddie, in terms of tech specs, what's the Copa 17 all about?
Do you know what? It's got a K-leather upper, and I can appreciate that. In terms of the way it actually fits and feels, I think it's very comfortable and very flexible. Now, one massive problem for me is that tongue. I don't understand why Adidas have actually made it so high up, and you almost can't fold it over. It's in between. It's too short to fold over, but then it's too long to keep up, so that's a bit of a shame. But if you want a very comfortable boot at a half decent price, then the Copa 17.1 is a great model for you. So guys, here it is. It is time for Adidas' brand new silo, and I'm so excited because it looks unbelievable. And that is the Messi 17.1 Nemesis, the boot that Messi will be wearing. There's some really sick things going on. Blake, talk us through it.
So you saw it in blackouts, but now you see it in full color. In terms of design, it's so bold. It's a really, really bold color. It's almost like a zebra design. Black and white with that solar yellow on the Adidas 3 stripes and stud tips. I think it's a really, really bold design for a really, really bold boot. In terms of tech specs, what are we seeing on that upper?
So the upper itself is what Adidas are calling 360-degree agility bandage. Do you know what? I love that. I would love a pair of boots that fit like a bandage, and you can almost see that on the upper with those different strips going in different directions. If it really does fit snug around my foot, that will be a massive bonus for me because that's something I personally look for. Now the colorway, obviously black and white. I think these are going to be much more popular compared to the Messi 16 range. So hopefully Premier League, Newcastle next season, we're going to see a couple of players for the tune wearing these boots.
Now, one of the more unique things on this silo is that agility banjo system. It reminds me a lot of the Nitrocharge 1.0. That was only 2 generations. It came out with that energy sling, provided a really clean touch on the ball, and to provide lockdown, especially in that forefoot area, and it reminds me a lot of that boot. Another thing is that dual lock collar. It's a very unique collar. We saw it in the blackouts, now we see it in full color. It's a very unique collar system. What do you think of it?
Do you know what? I just hope it's comfortable. The Messi 16.1, a brilliant upper, and it was a good football boot. But one problem for me was that burrito style tongue just dug into the top of my foot ever so slightly. And on this model, you can see it raises high up the top of the foot and also at the back. So as long as it's comfortable, I think it's going to be a good boot for you.
And on the sole plate we see torsion frame, and I'm pretty sure it's just a different name to call sprint frame. So yeah, nothing different there in terms of sole plate. It's really an agility boot but named differently.
So guys, this is it, the creme de la creme of Adidas' brand new boot, and it is the Nemesis 17 360 agility. And as you can see, it's very similar to the Messi model, but instead it features no laces, just like the Pure Control First Force.
So Adidas' second laceless football boot on their current crop of football boots. Yeah. I rate it. I think it's actually quite a nice boot. I imagine it's going to be very, very lightweight, but we see that cover, it's almost like a pure cut cover. Take out the laces and there you have a laceless Nemesis football boot. Agility football boot with that same agility bandage. What do you think of it?
So do you know what? I'm actually so excited to actually try these out. Most of the time we get new colorways of boots which you go and test for you guys, but this time we have been treated to an all new silo. So I am so excited to see how they actually fit, feel and perform in a full testing review, and we are waiting for them to come in the post imminently. So stay tuned on our channel to see how they actually are and if they are the new best Adidas model that you guys can buy.
Now, one thing I'll just say is that Messi, he won't be just the player wearing this. I think you're going to see a lot of players move from the X or the Ace to the Nemesis line. Someone like Julian Draxler, or blackout version, someone like Felipe Luis, left back for Atletico Madrid, he might be switching to the laceless version, where Messi will probably just stick with his laced version.
So guys, that is a wrap up of Adidas' brand new Dust Storm pack. I love the collection, I really do. What about you? What's your favourite pick of the bunch?
I'm going to go with something old, so not a new line boot. I'd go with the A17 Plus Pure Control. I think they love the design, black and white with a pop of yellow. What about you?
If I had to pick a pair of boots now for my own football, I'll go for the 17.1 Prime. I love the way it looks and I also love the boot. But as I said, I can't wait to test out the new Messis. So stay tuned for that coming very shortly. But guys, that wraps up the video. Let us know your own personal comments on the pack below. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching as always.
We'll see you next time.